Noah snapped awake and yanked on the steering wheel, pulling his car from the shoulder back onto the road and narrowly missing the person who was walking there. He bolted upright in the driver's seat and vigorously rubbed his face, forcing his eyes wide open. He looked in the rearview and saw what appeared to be a young woman receding into the distance. He shook his head, inhaled, and then blew out the breath in a powerful exhale. That was a close one. He'd been driving too long. He knew this. But he still needed to put a little more distance between himself and Memphis before he felt comfortable. Just a little while longer, he told himself. Reaching for the radio, Noah searched for a station but found nothing. It didn't surprise him. There wasn't much out this way beyond the occasional farm and tiny burg, which was how he preferred it. Small sacrifices. Still, he needed something to help keep him awake. As if on command, another figure emerged out of the darkness along the side of the road. Noah initially considered pulling over and offering the person a ride, if for no other reason than to have someone to talk to and ward off sleep, but he dismissed the idea straight away. Better that he travel alone, he thought. But as he approached the person, something about them caused him to lean forward. He stared through the window at the person as he passed by, then shifted to the rear view when they were behind him. His brows furrowed in confusion. He could tell that the person was a woman, but what tickled the hairs on the back of his neck was that he felt she looked an awful lot like the woman he had nearly hit with a car only a few moments ago. But that couldn't be, for obvious reasons. Not only was it physically impossible, but he had only glimpsed the first woman, and that had been on the heels of suddenly rousing. Even so, he couldn't shake the similarities. Red sweater, blue jeans, blonde hair. The likeness was uncanny. Even though he had already convinced himself to abstain from picking up any passengers, he felt an inexplicable urge to make an exception. Stepping on the brakes, Noah pulled over. He watched the woman scurry toward the car in the rear view, her dark shape becoming increasingly bathed in red brake light. She approached the passenger door and opened it. She leaned in and said in a tiny voice, "Where are you headed?" Noah pointed through the windshield. "For now, this way." "That's good enough for me." The woman climbed into the car and closed the door. Noah pulled back onto the road and looked at her curiously. "A little late to be out here all by yourself, isn't it?" The woman shrugged. "I could say the same thing about you." Noah nodded. "Fair enough. Where are you looking to go?" "For right now," the woman said, jabbing her finger toward the windshield, "the same direction as you." "I see," Noah said, looking briefly at the rear view. "One of those days?" The woman focused on her lap. "You could say that." She looked over at Noah. "Thank you, by the way, for, stopping." Noah tipped his head toward her. "You're welcome, but I should be the one thanking you." The woman frowned. "Thanking me? Why?" "Because I was starting to get sleepy out here on this dark road. Now I've got someone to distract me from the Sandman." The woman smiled. "Well, I'm glad I could help." Noah smiled back. "Well," he said, "you did." The woman giggled as Noah sized her up. "What's your name?" she said. Noah hesitated, perhaps a bit too long, before he finally said, "Evan. Yours?" "I'm Anita," the woman said. "So where you coming from, Evan?" Noah thought long and hard about his answer, but in the end decided that a second lie could become the foundation to a house of cards he might not be able to crawl out from under. Memphis." Anita turned sideways in her seat. "Oh my God, me too. Where about?" Noah adjusted his fingers on the steering wheel and straightened in his seat. "Nowhere in particular. Got a buddy who lives downtown. Just visiting." "Yeah?" Anita said. "You ever go to Club MERIDIAN?" "Sure." "Oh my God, I love that place. I practically lived there." "Lived?" Noah said. "You don't go anymore?" "No, not since things happened." "Things, huh?" Noah said. "These the same things that have got you walking along a road at night in the middle of nowhere?" Anita hesitated before she finally said, "You could say that." Noah glanced at her briefly before he focused his eyes back through the windshield. There was something about this woman, something he couldn't place. He felt as if he had met her before, and not in a simple across-the-room sort of way. It was an encounter, perhaps even a brief one, but one in which they had come face to face in some way, shape, or form. But if they had, wouldn't she have had glints of recognition in her eyes for him? Something was off, and it was beginning to gnaw at him that he couldn't place what it was. "So where's your final destination?" he asked, trying to redirect the conversation. "Where are you thinking of going?" "I haven't really thought about it," Anita replied. "I don't know what's next." Noah looked at her again. He studied her face and passed his eyes over her hair and clothes. His curiosity had reached its limit and bubbled over. "I'm sorry," he said, "but have we met before? You just seem so familiar." Anita looked at him with a faux shocked expression. "Well, now I'm hurt." Noah gave her a sideways glance. "I'm sorry?" "I recognized you as soon as I got in the car," she said. "I wanted to see how long it would take before you remembered me. But you don't, do you?" A different woman materialized out of the darkness along the side of the road, zipping by as Noah passed her. Like Anita, she seemed like someone he had seen before. He gave the woman a second glance in the rearview before he fixed his eyes back on Anita. "What are you saying?" he started. "That we have met? Well, now you're just being mean." Anita folded her arms over her chest like a petulant child. Noah smiled. "I'm sorry, but my memory's shot right now. I've been driving for I don't know how long, and I'm beat. Can you just tell me?" He smiled again, but it faded when he locked on the sight of yet another woman passing by on the road. Like the others, Noah swore he recognized her. "Okay, I'll give you a clue," Anita said. "We were in the parking lot behind Meridian. I was getting something out of my car when you came up behind me." Noah looked at her sharply. "Then you hit me on the head with something and put your hands around my neck." Noah slowly recoiled as Anita spoke. "Then you killed me." Noah nearly drove off the road. He fumbled for the steering wheel, swerving until he could correct the car's path. "What did you just say?" he said, his voice barely a whisper. "I said that you killed me," Anita said. "And not just me, them too." Anita thumbed into the back seat. Noah looked in the rearview mirror and discovered 2 pairs of lifeless eyes staring at him. He tried to scream, but before he could get out a sound, one of the women's arms shot forward and encircled his neck like a viper, pinning his head to the headrest. A second pale arm clamped onto Noah's knee, forcing him to accelerate. "It's terrifying, isn't it?" Anita began. "Having someone else be in control of you, not knowing what's about to happen?" Anita looked through the windshield. Noah followed her gaze into the distance where a small bridge materialized on the horizon. "I'm sorry," Noah croaked. "I'm sorry for what I did to you. To all of you." "Of course you are," Anita said. "Murderers are always sorry when they get caught." The car sped up even faster, the bridge rushing toward it. Over Noah's shoulder, another arm slinked forward, the white hand attached to it wrapping around his hand on the steering wheel. Through tears, Noah glimpsed the rearview and the 2 figures in the back seat. They glared at him with eerie satisfaction. "Goodbye, Noah," Anita said. The car accelerated even more, the engine revving as the hand on Noah's knee pushed down. Noah fought against the women's grips, but they were too strong, too committed to what was about to happen. As the car sped onto the bridge, the hand over Noah's hand pulled slightly on the wheel. Then it jerked it all the way to the left. The car smashed through the bridge guardrails and plummeted into the cold river below, splashing down in a nearly inverted position. The next morning, when the police extracted the vehicle from the water, they would find only a single man behind the wheel. An apparent suicide, they would eventually rule. But what would go unnoticed in the investigation was the sight of the 3 women, who watched from the opposite bank of the river until the coroner's vehicle drove away with its fresh payload.